Morning guys, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is a psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, and obstacles in our lives, as well as a self-improvement process to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions that we have set for ourselves, as well as those around us. If you'd like a brief introduction, a brief summary as to how we break down the Ahn Rho Project into domains of life, subfields, analogies, and so on and so forth. You can check that all out on the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years, straight to January 2021 and beyond for updated versions, including a copyright-free music, content live stream schedule, and how we divvy the 15-minute live stream into 11 segments, 3 phases, and that won't take too much of your time. So with that being said, let's dive into segment 2. As usual, maybe 2 points first of all. 3. This is going to be the first of maybe 2 or 3 live streams today, so we're going to have maybe 2 or 3 live streams today. Secondly, this is a solid 8-5 override. A rule to break all other rules, a system principle to free myself from the system, be purely practical and pragmatic, and get what most urgently needs done. And thirdly, if you like to skip even this short and abridged introduction, it's very easy. Just skip ahead by about a minute to a minute and a half into the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, whatever kind of video after the live stream has ended. So that being said, let's dive into content, which is what you get. Take a look on screen. This is a lot of phase 2 items. Lots of photography. We're just gonna run through the collage, and then we're gonna try to cover each of these things one by one. Of course, this is phase 2 in the backdrop. You can see my hand on the very top right corner just now waving. Of course, there's some phase 3 items here to get through as well. So let's start here with collage, and you can see there that's a lot of stuff you have to do with recordings, some phone calls, photography, food, dietetics, nutrition. There's some news in here I see as well. There's some technology, there's music, and depth, gratitude. So obviously depth and gratitude go hand in hand. We have food once again. Class 2 at the bottom. We have some really important stuff having to do with a reflection on fighting narcissism, which is that text wall down there, that listing, as well as you can see me saying "fuck narcissism," right? That's what happens when you subject to that kind of stuff. And the very bottom, we also have some stuff having to do with updating my profile. So this is, I guess, the platform, the project itself. We also have social media here. We also have some philosophical stuff, so education, academia, stuff like that, and life management in general. So let's just get right into it. Let's get rid of all this stuff here on screen. We don't really need this anymore. Alright, so again, phase 3 in the backdrop. We have some stuff to cover around the table, around the room that I can't showcase to you right now. That's okay. So let's get started with the stuff that we do have to get through. Left-hand panel, first of all. We had some really important conversations yesterday between me and some of my colleagues. One of my colleagues actually was away because one of his very close family had passed away. It's very sad news, and he had to go. And so the rest of us were trying to help keep the department running and afloat. And so there was just a lot of interactions with other people who I usually don't have interactions with as a result of that absence. And it was good because there was reparative damage. It was kind of like damage control, because there was a lot of broken relationships. I mentioned this many times before, so it was a good chance to remediate between just some general things. This won't mean a lot to you, but MG, TM. So again, I'm not dropping any names here, just like abbreviations or whatever, so that I have a clue as to what happened. So I was able to try my hand and practice getting back on track with a lot of my colleagues. Who were, again, at one point a lot like family to me and still kind of are. Alright, so in addition to that, I also want to showcase, obviously, alongside media assets, we also have here in the backdrop, this is the live stream right now, right? So live streams are part of this. We have the voice recordings, we have the self-reflections, we also have the live streams, and we also have some phone calls here. So I had to call one of my, the owners of the business, the company that I'm working for. So there was a bit of back and forth there, a lot of interactions there, and it's nice to try to get things working back on track, get things back on track between us. Anyways, moving on. There's also some messages here. You can see again, blurred out the names. There's no real names here because of privacy, confidentiality. Just wishing people good nights and the best and sympathies for your loss, as well as getting back to somebody for Mid-Autumn Festival. So 中秋节 is basically called that. So relationships, once again, very important stuff. And I actually took this kind of photograph here to remind myself that I made a phone call, but I just talked about that already, so that's not really necessary. In addition to this, I want to talk, because we're relationships, right? So we're still in segment 4 and 5, particularly 5. Here's a little bit of a list of fuck narcissism, right? Retaliation, respond against it, blah, 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 right? So 2000, so like that's task list items, 3009, and it's kind of like a, not task, but a record of the thoughts and statements that I'm going through and the deductions that are going through my head. So needing to reject narcissistic fights or fight narcissism, needing also be observed, needing also do that because you can observe the functionality of narcissism even within your own domestic household. Somehow narcissism is actually beneficial in some sense. And then over here we have this, like, it's a long trail of thought that I'm very happy to write down, referencing a Harvard, Stanford study on happiness and how social support plays a role in that. Everyone's gonna die anyways, therefore I can't waste time on negative shit like narcissism. Alright, nice. You can see exactly, I'm just gonna list all this kind of stuff to dictate my course of action and my perspective and you know, again, my course of action with regards to the fight against narcissism, if at all. So removing all this kind of stuff, we can get rid of that. Where do we go from here? We go into segment 6 now. So stored reflections, worrying is like paying a debt that you don't owe. I couldn't agree more with that. That's something I do too much. Stored reflections, once again, figurative father in my life is a philosophy, figurative mother in my life is psychiatry. I would just say, of course, copyright notice, not my shit, not my stuff here. Go over to Instagram, check out Stored Reflections, great page. He does some great stuff over there. And that's that. Okay, moving on, we also have some stuff here from School of Life London. Love unconditionally. The Good Enough Parent is a parenting guide providing compassionate instruction and insight into raising a resilient, well-balanced child. So this is basically more philosophy, but this is a more liberalized take, right? This is clearly not as strict as Stoicism is, not as conservative. So one's the conservative end and one is the more liberal approach. Anyways, just want to showcase and highlight both of them. Let's move on to another portion that's interesting here that I had to do. Not interesting, but I had to do it. It's a task to do. I had to update the bio on my Twitch. I noticed that it was out of date, so this is what it was beforehand. Pragmatics, Human Encyclopaedia in Real Life Game IRL, and Time Capsule, Destroying and Building Myself from Scratch. I replaced that with eventually this one over here. So, oh, sorry, this is a before snapshot. This is what it became afterwards. It became, you know, no, it is the same thing as well. Did I even replace it? So, well, it has to do with the puzzle, solving life as a puzzle. So if you visit my YouTube channel, you'll find it there anyway. So that's basically, I'm not gonna waste more time on this. All right, moving on. Let's go on to what else did I miss out on? Let's take a look. We have some stuff here. So, can narcissists change? Narcissists and gritty paternalism. I downloaded some of these videos here from Dr. Ramani, and so it was actually very relevant. And I downloaded it and I figured it was, I can't remember exactly what it was. I believe one of these has to do with media, right, and trying to get it out into the world so that people can recognize this out in the public, not just in private individual settings. So there was that. One of these videos has to do with that. The other one I'm not going to touch upon because I don't remember, and that's okay. We have a lot to cover, clearly. We also have to update the one of these things here. There was a new playlist I created for what does that even say? I don't know. There was something, right? It was like a music band, I think that's what it was, making covers. So we're on to like social media and platforming now. The next one here I also want to cover is someone liked my reply to "No fucking way," and that was for one of these comments on the Diary of Jane by Breaking Benjamin. So a great band, great music, and this really takes us back to 2005 when people used to play things like RuneScape and Maple Story, and that's kind of generation era that I was entrenched in. My buddies were always playing stuff like that. I got in a little bit late, and so I just commented on someone who, you know, it was like a RuneScape player saying how he still PKs to that music to this day, 15 years later. So it was very interesting, and someone, you know, interacted with that. So that was funny. We also have here, here's what I replaced it with, right? I said that the original bio says 1,000 Days to Live, Pragmatics, Human Encyclopedia, in real life game, time capsule, destroying myself from scratch. I changed it to the one on YouTube, which is it's a place where we work on solving the challenges of life for those, the puzzle of life for those who are like-minded, hungry, disciplined, but lacking in guidance, held back by inevitable factors. And that is much more in line with the name of my channel. Of course, now it has been changed from CPU processor to PTSD processor, so human CPTSD, and that is actual diagnosis of complex post-traumatic. I'm not going to go through that. Here's also some music I want to showcase. So this is this is Christina Shiano. She's a great drummer. So there's some music here as well that I was taking a look at and listening to. So I thought that was very nice. We also have some news here. We also have, so I'm just going through basically the media. So we went from music over to the media platforms, over to news now. This one's current events, political stuff. So police watchdog probing whether it's like something about military police. But the one that really captured me is this one on Huawei's CFO striking a deal with the US over fraud charges. So I read over that as well. And there were some comments over this, and basically this is how I spent a little bit of my time that I wish I hadn't spent. Here's some commentary here, but I think it is important once in a while to keep up to date with current affairs. So spend at least a little bit, maybe if only 20 minutes, learning about the world. You don't want to be completely under the rock here. Here's something else. Oh, that's why so Christina, so actually that video at the very end, I think, has this, and that's why I want to showcase this. So she was, one of her patrons has developed an app for music theory, and that's what I really want to highlight here. You can see that there's, on harmonics and chords, on chord progression, all this stuff that I don't really know enough about, that I want to learn about. And so, I may visit that app if it's still upstanding, still running right now, and see if I can make use of that down in the line, maybe like 6 months down the road when everything's back together again, or at a new stage where I actually have things together. What I want to do now is cover some food. So there's a lot of class 2 items, a lot of class 2 food that I didn't cover from the previous day as well as the day beforehand, so 2 days ago. So this is yesterday's stuff. We have some beef, onions, green onions, beef slices, traditional Vietnamese slice. Here's 3 dishes altogether. We also have some Kraft KD cheese and macaroni. You can see right there some macaroni pasta from Kraft dinner. And all this kind of stuff is class 2 in nature, meaning it's from my domestic garden. So I just want to mention that. So show some appreciation, gratitude for them, and what they've done for me. Okay, moving on to the past. We also have down here, I missed this some chickpeas and tofu, kind of squishy tofu. I know it sounds nasty. This is traditional Chinese cooking, traditional Hong Kong, Taiwanese cooking kind of stuff. Alright, moving on to the side. There's some food from the previous day. We also have these bakery items here. So this is a custard filled, you can see the custard in this one. Custard filled kind of mochi type of pastry. It's like a dessert, not a pastry, sorry. It's gelatin in flavor and in texture. And then this one's a coconut tart, so you can see up close cameras to see the texture here. Again, something from Aroma Bakery, a really nice bakery, and I just ate that for breakfast here alongside with some walnuts and oatmeal. So that's something I want to highlight, as well as this dish, because those are class 2 items once again from my domestic garden, so thankful for that, showing appreciation for that. We also have some celery and frog legs. So frog legs, I know that sounds nasty, but celery, frog legs, red bell pepper. So that's all the class 2 food items, and I think I've covered everything in class 2, so I need to move into class 3 now. So we have only about 45 seconds left. Very quickly, I'll mention this is going to be going to the trash. So is this napkin? It's disgusting. So are these things that I used that I didn't mention? I put this over the earpiece to kind of keep the nasty earwax or whatever. It sounds disgusting, but that's what it is. I put this inside that bag, take it over to the trash. Let's get up here. This needs to get washed. To the backdrop, like I said I would. We have a lot of stuff here that's trash, so let's kneel down for a second, the last 30 seconds. This mask with some spoons on the inside and Q-tips need to go away into trash. Same with this box recycling bin. This is the cookies I received from my fellow employees at the workplace. Thank you for the cookies. This is expired bread, as well as these are bakery items inside with the custard packaging. So I'm going to take all that trash, put it in here and take it out and clean the bread. And then last but not least, so is this box. I had to fold it up because this tissue box is empty now. So let's end this live stream. 5 seconds left, and we'll continue this later on today.